I think one of the hardest things is dealing with a lack of motivation. Since starting this whole YouTube side of things, like anything else, it can be exciting in the beginning, but I think for me, it's always kind of figuring out how I'm going to continue and keep up with this. And one of the things I love is the motivation loop. There's the whole thing of like people waiting to get motivated before they get started. With the motivation loop, you have motivation, you have action, you have inspiration. And it's not so much one thing has to happen before the other, but it's actually a continuous cycle. And I think a big piece of that equation for me is just starting with action. A few things that have really been encouraging me is just the fact that I have been racking up some hours. I'm only a few weeks in. It's been super encouraging just to see that, hey, people are watching this stuff. People are resonating with this stuff. And outside of the hours and the metrics and things like that, what I've liked the most is that those hours have translated to conversations. Now, obviously, hey, I'm putting a big effort on YouTube, but I'm also putting this content out across LinkedIn, across Instagram, across Facebook. And I'm really just trying to use the channels that I've built a lot of relationships to kind of make this content go as far as possible. And with that, I've been having a lot of good conversations, whether that be meetings, whether that be DMs, whether that be comments. And at the end of the day, that's why I'm doing this stuff. I want to create connections. I want to take the social side of things and I want to make it, kind of real life. Outside of all of that, I'm actually just enjoying the practice. It's fun to sit down and to have deep thoughts and really reflect and ask myself, what value can I bring? So many of these videos, I'm really trying to focus in on what is the thing that I can give? How is this going to be helpful to people? And outside of like the creation side of things, it has been such a fun exercise to just kind of think about like, what is it that I have that I feel confident about, that I want to talk about, that I truly do feel like can be helpful. Today, I kind of want to do this one a little bit differently. And I want to start to infuse a little bit more of like peeling back the layers of being an entrepreneur. It's one thing to say, hey, I'm going to talk about this one thing today, and it's going to be super tactical, and you guys get to walk away with this awesome information. But as someone who listens to podcasts, who loves audiobooks and physical books, I love to learn, and I really like to learn about people. So I want to spend a little bit of time actually peeling back the layers and having some more in real time things that are less, hey, here's the direct thing, and here's more of, this is just how Josh is feeling. This is what Josh is up to. And here's how I'm working to build my business and the challenges or the things that I'm kind of figuring out along the way. I think I wanted to start today with the word entrepreneurship. I read a lot of books. I listen to a lot of podcasts. And truth be told, I think anyone deals with imposter syndrome. But I would say one area for me is just like anytime I'm reading these books, I do really feel like a fraud. Mostly because I don't have this crazy drive to build a huge business or to change the world. I believe in what I do. I love video production. I love storytelling. I'm super passionate and I know the value of the services that we provide, the projects that we do. So that piece for me, the vision piece, has always made a lot of sense. I also love systems and processes. I'm very much an implementer through and through, probably more so than a visionary. One book I read a handful of years ago that really helped me kind of see this entrepreneurship thing in a more healthy and alignment with the way I see things was a book my friend Josiah recommended, Company of One. And what I really liked about this book was he outlined a lot of strategies of being a solopreneur. And he made me feel proud to want to be a solopreneur. And I really liked the fact that it was more so, what kind of lifestyle do you want? How do you want to build that lifestyle out? And then you can kind of reverse engineer your business to work for that. Some side of me does feel guilty for not growing our business, for not scaling up. I love the idea of providing jobs. In our business, legally, I'm the only one on paper. But I love our subcontractors. I love being able to put jobs together. I love teamwork. I love leadership. But on the flip side, I don't have this big drive to make something bigger. So a lot of times when I'm reading these books, I find them super valuable. But I also feel guilty because I'm not looking to maybe grow my business as big as some of these other people are. And I think that's something that a lot of people can relate with. I know I'm a business owner. I know I have an amazing vision and value. But there is a lot of information out there that is pushing people to do bigger, to be better. And what I really have been reflecting on is what do I want to be known for? That kind of brings me to where I'm at this year. There's been a lot of things that I've been saying no to in order to say yes to the right things. I have a few things I'm going to be sharing in the next few weeks and months. I just got to work on a really incredible proof of concept documentary that I'm super excited about. It's just filling my spirit with so much joy, so much happiness. I'm so proud of this thing. And I'm definitely going to do a deeper dive on that later. We have another thing that I'm like really excited to kick off that I think is going to make a huge impact for, creatives and other entrepreneurs in our local area. And those are exciting for me as a business owner to come up with new ideas or new opportunities or partner with certain people. But I think a big piece of that is really coming back to my current focus. And I'm like excited and eager, and I can see all the value. But at the same time, I question it. I think one thing that's really easy is to project ourselves online, is having all the answers, knowing everything's going to be fine. And it couldn't be any further from that. I'm always trying different things out. I'm always asking myself harder questions. The mantra that I've been using a lot lately is I want to do less so that I can do better instead of more. Last year, I talked about this a few weeks ago, we had one of our best years. On paper, it's awesome. It's what I've been working for so long to get to that point. And truth be told, just not super stoked on a lot of the work that we did. So I think a big piece of that, and what I mean by this, is I want to really make sure I'm saying yes to the right projects, not just saying yes to every project because it can have revenue or we can hit a bigger sales goal. This relationship piece of our business, like we got really clear on in 2018. And I think from 2018 on, I've been so focused on the systems, the processes, and the strategy that I lost tune with the storyteller that I am. And I think that's the root thing that I'm really trying to get back to, is when I'm saying yes to projects, I want to make sure I can apply good storytelling, that I understand the story, that I feel passionate about it. Now, don't get me wrong, I still have to pay bills like everyone else, so there's certain things that I have to do, but I want to make sure what I'm doing, I'm actually adding value. I want to make sure I'm actually adding value to who I'm helping, as well as to myself and to my future self. So I've really been looking back on, hey, what made us super successful in those early years? We were saying yes to so many things. Some of those were paid, some of those were free, some of those were somewhere in between. But at the end of the day, when we get to apply our best selves to a project, I think it's super important for our soul, and I think that goes a long way in being a business owner. This year, I don't know how it's going to plan out. Like this channel, this is one of those things. It's not just to build a channel. There are some goals I have attached to this channel. The biggest goal is adding value and just getting the reps in and practicing. But really, this makes me happy to be able to do these things, like putting myself out there. I know I'm going to be better at communicating my points. I know I'm going to attract the right people into my stratosphere. This is me taking a very proactive approach to marketing for myself and in hopes of helping other people in the process. So this is a big experiment right now. And as a business owner, I think we have to take those gambles every once in a while. Creatively, marketing wise, as a visionary, all those things make a big difference in our fulfillment and our excitement and the things that we get to do. I think really the biggest thing that I'm trying to practice myself, that I would encourage you to practice too, is like, what things do we need to be saying no to? So that way we can say yes to the right things.